unless you are living in a post-apocalyptic wasteland that is just completely barren of any survivors with any kind of useful information.
Are you talking about Pensacola?
Who could possibly tell you about what's going on? You're probably aware that Fallout 76 has recently celebrated their reclamation day, if you will.
Mm-hmm. It's dropped.
And by that I mean Fallout 76 has launched and has been live, with the exception of, recently where they introduced their first big patch.
So for those of you that don't know, Fallout 76 is a new iteration of the Fallout series, and it's taking a bold new direction. It's a multiplayer only, and it's online only. And by multiplayer, that just means that there are several different humans on a giant map at any one time. It's not
24 per server.
Yeah, so this is not multiplayer like Call of Duty's multiplayer or
No, not at all.
Fortnite. You're not fighting each other. It's not like that. But the whole idea was that
I did kill somebody the other day, but he was wanted. What could I do?
I saw that. That was cool. So this is a new idea. Fallout games have always been single player in the past. They're all, even the computer ones, they're all massive RPGs of one fashion or another. They're long stories and you level up, and this is kind of a new iteration. They're doing some different things. Some people are have been excited about it. Some people have really hated it. There have been some issues. You have the game. You've been playing.
Well, I've been playing on Xbox, and Xbox has actually been getting relatively little performance issues and context. PlayStation 4 apparently has been getting the most. And I really haven't had anything that bad as far as like bugs go. Now, like I did, of course, like in the Bureau of Tourism quest, that was like if you look on the internet, like nobody could complete that course because all you can do is walk through the goddamn token machine. And I had that very same problem. It pissed me off. But that one was resolved with that big patch that dropped. By the way, if you got it on launch day, I got it on launch day just because I couldn't bear the thought that there was a Fallout game out there that I couldn't play. Because that's the thing. It's kind of been like a secret among the group. Me and Asher have been dying to talk about video games, but we haven't had a reason to. And we kind of just like shoehorned in this as a reason, so we can go ahead and get that out there and be like, aha, we've done it before, precedent set, we can talk about video games now.
Exactly. So Fallout 76 seems like a good reason to do it. I don't have it. I am a big Fallout fan, but I don't have a system to play Fallout 76 on right now, and wasn't enough to make me necessarily want to get one. But I'm not a hater on the game. I will say that there is a lot of people hating on the game right now. I don't know if that's necessarily just kind of a trending thing, but if that's like, do you think that's too much backlash from the community?
I mean, apparently, like if you're playing it on PlayStation 4, it looks like you could really get into some stuff that's really just immersion breaking. Just
that sucks.
If there ever was something to break your immersion. Now, like I said, I played on the Xbox. About the worst that I've gotten is like I'll kill a super mutant and his arm is kind of sticking through the door. I think whenever I played it on launch day, I ran up to a body of water, and the body of water definitely didn't look like a body of water. But whenever I played it the next day, water looked like water. It rendered a lot better the next day.
Now, to me, that just sounds like a Bethesda game because, first time I played Fallout 3 was like, Game of the Year edition. It was totally like had all DLC. It was totally patched up on the PS3. And I remember I did one... I had a glitch in there where I couldn't finish a mission. I had to look it up and figure out how to do some like crazy thing
to get around the glitch.
The gameplay to get around the glitch, and that was one of their masterpieces. You gotta
ditch the glitch.
Yeah.
To get some of those quests done and some of those really.
If you don't want to hitch, you gotta ditch the glitch.
That's it. Like
it'll be done in a cinch.
But it's just
bitch.
That's just kind of what have I done? That's just kind of how like Bethesda games work though. Like, and if you're a Bethesda fan, it's not that it's acceptable. It's just that like generally the story and like just kind of redeems everything. That's why I keep going back to Fallout anyways. It's just the story keeps me coming back.
And it's fun. Like there's most of the gameplay works fine and the games are so huge. I mean, a lot of games have these problems. A lot of games that are made now are so freaking big that they're if you get into them and you get into the nitty-gritty of these games, you're gonna find something here or there.
Oh yeah. Like
it's just impossible.
Ubisoft has done it.
Yeah.
EA has definitely done it.
Oh my God.
And I mean like like I'm not gonna lie, I definitely see some of the criticisms, a lot of the criticisms even, because I mean, as the map is gigantic, and a lot of the scenery is beautiful, and people say that like the engine is dated, and that's true, the engine is dated, but like it still works for a Fallout map for me.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I'm just like not too picky whenever it comes to my Fallout landscape. I feel like it definitely gets the job done. Like West Virginia is beautiful in this game.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks amazing. Lots of people are saying that. I don't hear too many people saying it doesn't look good. It looks really good, and it looks like it plays like Fallout. You monsters, you got different weapons. You know, you run around. The one big difference is there's no NPCs.
The VAT system is definitely like takes some getting used to if you're used to traditional VAT systems. Like it's because it's in real time, the game stays live. But once you kind of get the hang of how VATS works, you can kind of use it for your advantage. There are times to use VATS and there are times to aim. That's just kind of what it comes down to. Some of the criticisms that I understand, like weapon breakdown, that happens very quickly. Armor breakdown.
Sounds like Breath of the Wild crap right there.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. Like exactly like Breath of the Wild. Just like what it's wearing down so quick. It's faster than you can repair it.
Gotcha.
And you have to like salvage so many things in order to get that repair to happen. Like it does kind of get to be a headache. And only a couple of times. This is another one that you'll see online a lot. There's only been once or twice where I've been in an area and just all of a sudden a whole bunch of bad guys just spawn around me. And it's like, oh shit, now I have this to deal with, or I can run away.
Yeah, lots. I was reading that happened to some people, that like just enemies would just boop, they'd pop up, it'd be a bunch of them. You're like, oh boy.
Now that's only happened to me a couple of times. It really hadn't been that bad. But that being said, I definitely do understand a lot of the criticisms, and really I'm just hoping that Bethesda, like I know that they're capable of greatness, and this is such a great like template that they've set up. If they can just, because that
Flesh it out
at
maybe a little
E3,
bit.
right? Like at E3, Todd Howard was like, "This is going to have like constant updates. You know, we're constantly going to be like boosting it to make it exactly what it needs to be." And if that's a promise that Bethesda keeps, then I think that we could end up with something real special. If they pivot where they need to, and if they boost what they need to, and if they take away what they need to. But we'll see what they do moving forward.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens. I know that, I mean, I also look at Fallout 76. It's kind of its own thing because it did come out of Fallout 4's development because they wanted to make that to have an out multiplayer component to that game, but they decided that was too much to do in that game. So this one kind of came out of that.
Right.
So to me, I'm thinking it's always been its own thing. It's not exactly Fallout 5, but it's not
If you're expecting Fallout 5, you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah,
but it still does feel like Fallout.
Yeah, that's why. So it's not Fallout. So it's like it's definitely in that canon, and it's gonna affect the lore. Of course, that's one of the there's.
But at this point, and sales are down from Fallout 4 too. That's another thing. Sales are definitely down across the board for Fallout 4.
Well, it was competing with both Red Dead Redemption 2, which has just been slathered on the praise by every critic.
Talk of the town.
Yeah, talk of the town. Everyone's buying it.
Even South Park had 2 episodes, 2 weeks in a row, that heavily referenced Red Dead 2.
See, there you go.
That's how hyped up people were for that game. Still are for that game. It's still beating out Fallout 76, which just dropped.
Yeah, and it's probably going to be lots of people's game of the year. So that probably hurt sales a little bit.
Oh yeah, I think Fallout 76 can forget about that. But I mean, but at the same time, it's not like this is a No Man's Sky situation either. Like,
no.
That was a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Bethesda is going to be just fine going forward. They have a lot of upcoming projects that are going to be. I mean, they're making a lot of games too. One thing I heard. This is the last thing I have to say about this. Is I know that Dreamcast guy, who's a YouTuber, he claimed that he actually got some after the game came out. He released this after the game came out and after all the kind of critical reception had been put in place. He said that he had met up with some of the developers of this game in, like, I think it's Dallas or something like that, and at a bar just randomly ran into them and was
I think they have another headquarters in Austin now.
Yeah, maybe
Bethesda,
it was Austin. Maybe I'm thinking of Austin, Texas.
As a matter of fact, I believe that they're the ones in charge of the maintenance and everything of Fallout 76. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and this game seemed to be a little bit different than a lot of other Bethesda projects. Like it sounded like Todd Howard Howard wasn't.
It's an experiment all the
Yeah,
way.
he wasn't like the hands-on director. He just kind of would step in every once in a while and make sure the project was falling within the parameters of what they wanted it to be. And they said there was no sales goal for the game. There was no.
Well,
there
that's
was-
interesting.
Yeah, which is very interesting. Well, a lot of people, I think, the inference is that it's a Fallout brand. It's gonna fly off the shelves, and but I thought of it as more like, well, this is an experimental title. Maybe they didn't put a sales goal on it to just say like, we're gonna put this out because we developed some of it alongside of Fallout 4. So we're gonna finish this. We're gonna give it to the fans. We're gonna put it out
see what
there.
happens.
See what happens.
Well, I think as long as they I mean, it's just like I said. I think that the game has an awful lot of potential. They've promised to maintain it all, across the board for as long as people are playing it. So as long as they keep that promise, then I think that the game definitely could live up to that potential that it has.